Hi Zobal, thank you for joining us. Here are the weekly highlights from Arakan. Regime airstrikes kill 5, injure 6 near Bangladesh border townships in Arakan State. Kyauktaw grocery vendor wins 50 million jets Arakan lottery prize, expresses relief amid hardship. Regime claims Kyaukphyu Deep-Sea Port Project to proceed despite conflict. Kyaukphyu ferry owner, 13 passengers, charged over alleged links to Arakan Army. Starlink services in Arakan State inoperable as users report sudden shutdowns. ICRC restores family links for civilians trapped by Sittwe communication blackout.
For over 2 years, the fires of conflict have swept across Arakan State as the Arakan Army relentlessly presses forward with its offensives against the Myanmar junta. Between June 1st and June 7th of 2026, the region witnessed critical shifts on both the front lines and the home front. Here are the key developments shaping the rapidly escalating military and humanitarian situation in Arakan.
Regime airstrikes kill 5, injure 6 near Bangladesh border townships in Arakan State. At least 5 civilians were killed and 6 others injured as Myanmar's military regime intensified airstrikes on Buthidaung and Maungdaw townships along the Bangladesh border in Arakan State, according to data compiled by DMG. Since the beginning of July, the regime has carried out daily aerial attacks using fleets of aircraft on villages, prisoners of war detention camps, and former military installations across the 2 townships, which are under Arakan Army control. DMG data shows that a total of 11 people have been killed and injured, combined in the latest wave of attacks, including civilians and prisoners of war. Residents said repeated airstrikes have caused severe psychological distress among local communities. The regime has been widely accused of targeting civilian areas, villages, and detention sites as it loses ground on multiple fronts across the country. Arakan Army forces reportedly captured Buthidaung Township on May 18, 2024, and Maungdaw Town on December 8, 2024, consolidating control over the Myanmar-Bangladesh border region. According to the Arakan Army's Humanitarian Development Coordination Office, HDCO, at least 83 people were killed, 187 injured, and 65 arrested in Arakan State due to regime air and artillery attacks between January and June 2026. Kyauktaw grocery vendor wins 50 million jets Arakan lottery prize, expresses relief amid hardship. A 39-year-old woman from Kyauktaw town, Dothan Yi, has won the first prize of 50 million jets in the Arakan Longball Arakan Lottery, which was launched for the first time by the lottery branch of the Revenue Department under the United League of Arakan. She told DMG that she was extremely happy to win the prize during a period of severe economic hardship. She added that she plans to donate part of the winnings before using the remainder as business capital and encourage others to try their luck in future rounds. Her husband, Uko Ailuen, also expressed gratitude for the launch of the Arakan Lottery, saying it provided hope during difficult times. The Arakan Army announced the winning numbers of the Arakan Lottery on June 1st. The first prize of 50 million jets was ticket number 323692, and the second prize of 30 million jets was ticket number 116482, and the third prize of 20 million jets was ticket number 079645. The Arakan Army said it controls up to 90% of Arakan State and has established a United League of Arakan operating administrative, judicial, education, healthcare, municipal, and revenue functions. It also stated that 50% of the net profit from the lottery will be allocated to public service sectors, including education, healthcare, and infrastructure. Regime claims Kyaukphyu Deep-Sea Port Project to proceed despite conflict. Junta-appointed Vice President Nyo Saw has stated that the Kyaukphyu Deep-Sea Port Project in Arakan State must be completed within the designated timeframe despite ongoing intense armed conflict in the region. He made the remarks at a coordination meeting of the Central Committee on Myanmar Special Economic Zones held in Naypyidaw on July 3rd. During the meeting, Nyo Saw said that implementation of ongoing special economic zones, including the Kyaukphyu and Dawe SEZ projects and deep sea port developments, must follow scheduled timelines. He added that the projects are important for job creation, boosting exports, attracting foreign investment, and increasing national foreign income. Fighting continues in Kyaukphyu Township between regime forces and the Arakan Army near areas surrounding the Damonji Naval Station and other sites linked to Chinese-backed projects. During his recent visit to China, Mail Online reportedly pledged to advance the Kyaukphyu Deep-Sea Port Project, while a China-Myanmar joint statement issued on June 17th said the project will begin as soon as possible. Analysts, including ISP Myanmar, have suggested that renewed security guarantees linked to foreign investment projects have led to intensified military operations in related areas. Kyaukphyu ferry owner, 13 passengers, charged over alleged links to Arakan Army. A ferry owner and 13 passengers detained by the Myanmar military regime on the Danzit River in Kyaukphyu Township, Arakan State, have been charged over alleged links to the Arakan Army and the transportation of illegal goods, according to local sources. On June 8th, a ferry carrying goods from Maungdaw Township to Rakhine Township was intercepted by a junta warship near the confluence of the Thansi River in Kyaukphyu Township and Minchang Creek in Rakhine Township. The military alleged that the food supplies aboard the vessel were intended for the Arakan Army and subsequently charged those on board with alleged association with the Arakan Army and illegal transportation of goods. The accused are Ushike, Usain Wenmao, Do Jijikin, Do Mimi, Do Wenwenshui, Do Temiedan, Maungdaw Meong, Ukoko Ang, Ko Nimyo Deng, Do Miminkin, Do Miamyajo, U Kenzo U, Do Shozuma, and U Than Wenlei, compromising 7 women and 7 men. The detainees are from Rakhine, Kyaukphyu, Donggo, and Buthidaung townships. Some are traders transporting good and consumer goods for sale in their respective townships. DMGs continue to verify the specific legal provisions under which the ferry owner and the 13 passengers have been charged. Since fighting resumed in Arakan State, the regime has imposed extensive restrictions on transport and movement under its so-called four-cut strategy, creating widespread humanitarian and economic hardship. As the Arakan Army has extended its territory control across much of Arakan State, the regime has increased naval deployment along waterways, further restricting river transport and threatening civilian travel. Starlink services in Arakan State inoperable as users report sudden shutdowns. Starlink satellite internet services used across Myanmar, including Arakan State, have become inoperable in several areas after devices were reportedly blocked, raising concerns among users. Since June 2nd, multiple Starlink devices in Arakan State, including those with successfully registered accounts, have reportedly been marked region restricted and subsequently shut down. Reports suggest that devices are more likely to be disabled if user activity indicates access from an unauthorized country or region. In May, Starlink introduced a new policy requiring facial verification of device owners, which has added further concern among users in Myanmar. Starlink, owned by Elon Musk's SpaceX, has reportedly sent warning notices stating that use in unauthorized regions is prohibited and advising users to relocate devices to approved countries. Starlink is officially authorized in Southeast Asian countries such as Philippines and Japan, while Myanmar does not have official approval. However, in Arakan State, where mobile phone and internet services remain cut off, the technical department under the United League of Arakan has reportedly allowed the rental and use of Starlink devices for communication since late 2025. Users are required to pay 1-year licensing fee of 3 million jets in addition to other taxes to operate the service. Since 2023, internet and mobile lines in Arakan State have been severely disrupted due to ongoing fighting and significantly affecting social and economic life. Residents now fear that further shutdowns of Starlink devices could deepen communication isolation across the state. ICRC restores family links for civilian trapped by Sittwe communication blackout. The International Committee of the Red Cross has launched an emergency messaging network to reconnect displaced people and relatives separated by a communication blackout in Sittwe, humanitarian officials said Wednesday. The ICRC is using Red Cross Messages, a short text-based communication system, to help families maintain contact amid severe telecommunication disruptions across Arakan State. According to ICRC records, field teams delivered 229 family messages during 2026, providing a communication channel affected by the prolonged connectivity disruptions. Direct communication between civilians trapped inside Sittwe and relatives who have moved to areas under the control of the Arakan Army remains unavailable due to the collapse of mobile and internet services. The communication shutdown has prevented families from checking on relative safety, increasing concerns during periods of heightened insecurity. The ICRC said restoring family links, tracing missing people, and helping separated relatives reconnect remain central parts of its humanitarian work. Sittwe remains under strict restrictions, with junta forces controlling major land and sea routes into and out of the city. Local sources said hundreds of civilians seeking to leave for mainland Myanmar remain trapped due to high travel costs, poverty, and rising inflation. This was a selection of weekly highlights from Arakan State. Stay tuned for this program every Tuesday. May all people of Arakan and the world stay healthy and safe.